Well, hello there. Welcome to Financial Wellness University. If this is your first time, please subscribe and hit the like button so that more people can be exposed to these videos. Today, I want to talk about business organization, business structures. No, I'm not an attorney, neither am I a CPA or accountant. But I want to coach you on how to pursue wealth. And there are more people with wealth, with businesses, than there are people with wealth without businesses. So it stands to reason that starting a business is one of the things that help lead to wealth. So let's talk about it. Stay tuned. One of the benefits, or one of the main benefits of starting a business is that it's a vehicle to protect from unnecessary funds coming out of your paycheck or out of your income, out of what you make. Now, it's primarily should be used as a way to earn more money, but it also helps to two main ways it helps to when you consider what business organization. One, it helps on taxes, because most companies or the tax system overall is really geared towards giving companies a lot more breaks. A company can write off a whole lot more than an individual can write off. That's one. And the other aspect is liability. Depending on what business organization you choose, you're going to be able to have what's called limited liability as opposed to unlimited liability. Starting a business is something everyone should consider right now. You don't have to start a multi-million-dollar business. You just have to have an idea, a product or a service that you can provide, and start moving towards the direction of selling it or providing it to someone so that their lives could be better, and then you could reap the financial rewards. Now, the three major business organizations that I highlight to people, and I don't make a distinction between S Corp and C Corp, but I'll just call it a corporation, But 50 years ago, there was just sole proprietorship, meaning Mr. Jim's variety store. It was just his. When he died, so did the business. One of the benefits of a corporation is that it can live on beyond your lifespan. That's a benefit that a lot of people want. They want to be able to pass their business. They want to be able to sell it to someone else post their death or before their death. But a corporation doesn't stop because the founder passes away. It keeps going. So sole proprietorship or corporation, as it relates to liability, a sole proprietorship has unlimited liability, which means if you get sued in your business, they can go after your home, your cars, your bank account, everything. There's no limit on. Now, in a corporation, there's what's called limited liability, meaning that it's a separate entity and there's not the likelihood of them taking everything. Now, of course, people can sue for anything, but the likelihood of it going through is unlikely. Now, there's something in between. It's called the LLC, which is one of the newer forms of corporations. You can form it now. It has. Let me go back. Sole proprietorship has unlimited liability in single tax, whereas the corporation has unlimited liability in dual taxes, meaning you'll tax the individual employees and you'll tax the actual organization. LLC is sort of like a morph between the two. There's single taxation. It has the benefit of single taxation of the sole proprietorship, but it has the of limited liability for being sued. That's what's the LLC stands for. It's limited liability corporation. So you got three basic organizations, three basic business organizations. You have sole proprietorship, you have the LLC, you have a corporation. Now, some of you might say, well, what about partnerships? Well, partnerships are a morph, and it can fall under have a sort of a morph of those three, but I'm not a fan of partnerships per se, because you really have to distinguish who's going to be in charge and who's going to play what role. Attorneys have done it well. Doctors have done it well in partnerships where the roles are clear and they share responsibility. But in a business, I think it's better to have the person who's in charge, the person who makes the decisions, and the person who's the employees. Now, when you get two people who start a business, of course, there have been successful partnerships, but I recommend that you don't start off your first business as a partnership if you can avoid it. Get your feet wet in a business where you are the sole decision maker. And then if you see an opportunity to join with someone after you know all the ins and outs of business, then maybe a partnership might be an option. But that's why I recommend starting sole proprietorship, LLC, or corporation. And I really lean towards the LLC because it has the benefit of the tax benefit of the sole proprietorship and the unlimited liability of a corporation. So in an LLC, you can start with a few $100s, so it's not expensive, and you can be in business right away. You can start writing off things that you couldn't write off as an individual. You can begin to sell your product, selling your service under that protection of the LLC. Because bottom line is, there's always someone who wants to take what you have. There's always, if it's even a government entity wanting to take the taxes, or individual wants to or another company that wants to take your income. So the more income you have, the more income you keep, the wealthier you are. So that's why you have to posture yourself in such a way where you limit the amount of money that goes out and maximize the amount of money that comes in. And there's been a lot of talk about the concept, and I'll say concept of a holding company. And I'll use holding company and parent company in the interchangeable, but there may be some legal distinctions between a parent company and a holding company. But from the concept point, a holding company or a parent company is a umbrella company, one entity that oversees the activities of multiple other little companies or subsidiaries or divisions. And it's on like the parent, and then they have children, right? Now, a famous or well-known holding company that we might be familiar with is the company run by Warren Buffett called Berkshire Hathaway, where they own hundreds of companies that don't necessarily relate to one another. They're wholly owned companies who operate independently, but a holding company has may have a controlling interest in the shares. They may act as in a leadership capacity to hold the assets. So a holding company, looks a lot bigger than any individual company underneath it. It's almost like that family. Someone who have a lot of brothers. You mess with me, you mess with all of my family, and so that's strength too. But the concept is that you have a umbrella company, and then underneath that umbrella of protection is a bunch of other companies that don't necessarily have to relate to one another, but they have a common interest in that parent company has some interest in all of those. So that's something to consider. I'm not sure if you should start off with that. I mean, if you only if you're starting off with one company, I definitely recommend that you talk with an attorney or a CPA about how that might impact your finances, how it might impact your initial startup costs, and all that is within it. But by all means, start a business right away. Don't keep putting that off. Start a business. If you don't have an idea or concept, go into a business like a network marketing business that already has the business structure and product or service in place, and partner with them. You can still get a lot of the benefits, and you might not have to go into all these different business organizations. You can just be protected by their structure, or have the right insurance. So as I said, talk to your CPA or your attorney. Now, I happen to be aligned with a network marketing company called Legal Shield. And if you want to learn more about the benefit of that company and how it is basically starting a low-cost legal service revolution, where somebody who normally would pay hundreds or even thousands for a particular service can get it for a low monthly fee. So hit me up below, email me, tell me you're interested, put something in the comments, and we'll hook up. But I want you to start a business. I think it's to your benefit to start a business right now. So I want to encourage you to do that. Hit that like button if you haven't done so already. And I'll see you at the top. God bless.